they're causing a lot of trouble, not only over there, but over here too. And while I would have told you, after the Oprah interview that the support for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was huge, I will say over the last few months, people are starting to see that not all of those accusations were correct. Some of them were, incredibly dishonest. And I think that their popularity is waning in a dramatic way. But it does still, it is still an issue of age and demographic. Younger people still clamor to them. And it's really the older people, people that are focused on common sense, that do understand tradition, that are aware of the history, that are starting to think that perhaps the Duke and Duchess don't have the best intentions when it comes to their relationship with the royal family.
How do Americans, by and large, regard the royal family? Is it just some sort of quaint little bizarre British tradition that, you look across the pond and think, oh, isn't that nice? Or do you think it's a sort of backwards, regressive setup, to have a constitutional monarchy in this day and age?
I mean, I have to tell you, I think that we're pretty enamored with the royal family. There is something so romantic about the tradition and the history. So I think that, when we look at the Queen, when we look at Prince William and Kate, these are aspirational, there's something so just, they're elegant. They are, the way that they dress, the way that they physically move, the way that they speak, the respect that goes into the just even the titles. I have to tell you, I think that we think that it makes your country almost a little bit savvier and more sophisticated than ours.
And in terms of the popularity of Prince Charles, because he's an interesting figure in the UK. People aren't necessarily as affectionate towards him as they are to our Queen. But of course, he is waiting in the wings to be the next king of the UK. So how will the Americans take to him, do you think? Is he someone that by and large is liked? Are the Americans interested in him? Or has he got a bit of a shaky reputation?
That's a great question. And I have to tell you that I think Princess Diana really thrust the royal family into kind of a celebrity atmosphere when it comes to the United States of America. And Prince Charles, unfortunately, is wrapped up in that. We think of Prince Charles, we think of adultery. We think of, a woman scorned. So unfortunately, in the United States, I don't think he's held to very high regard.
And in terms of, there are so many networks and stations clamoring to make programmes and dramas about the royal family at the moment. Of course, everybody knows the series The Crown. Now there's some sort of slightly insulting and irreverent cartoon. And then there's a lifestyle channel, another sort of docudrama being made. Is this fascination all bubbling up now because of Harry and Meghan sticking the royal family, front and centre in the headlines again? Or has that always been there? And do you think that these dramas, by and large, give a fair coverage of the royal family?
Oh, that's interesting. I think that Harry and Meghan obviously added a huge bump in interest in the States. But, the Lifetime movie, the one that came out last night, I would almost say that that's like propaganda. They paint Prince William in such a hateful light. It's insulting. I would say straight up, it's insulting. But when it comes to The Crown, and I thought The Prince is a little edgy on HBO Max here. That's the cartoon. So I don't think that they are accurate depictions, no. And I would say perhaps, yes, the interest is because of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But also, Princess Diana, I think, is going to be an icon forever, and people are really clamoring towards that content with, the new movie Spencer and The Crown.
And what about her oldest son, William, who, of course, after Charles, is our next king in waiting? What's his and Kate's reputation like stateside?
Oh, we love them. We absolutely adore them. They seem in love. They seem kind. They seem respectful. And we are enthusiastic to see both King William and Queen Consort Kate, I do think that the United States will be thrilled to see them, sitting on the throne.
And in terms of how the royal family is standing up, do you think that their reputation in the US has changed much? Has it got better? Has it got worse with the sort of latest buzz of all the scandals and putting them under the spotlight?
That's so interesting that you say that, because obviously there is a negative emphasis when it comes to the headlines here in the States. Prince Andrew, you don't want to be associated with that guy right now here in America. For Americans, it's guilt by association, and there are photos of Prince Andrew with Jeffrey Epstein. I would almost argue that we created cancel culture, and we aren't necessarily the most forgiving. And so I would say that we love Queen Elizabeth, we love Prince William, and we love Prince Harry. We don't necessarily understand what's going on with Prince Harry right now.
Yeah, no, a lot of us don't. And a lot of us are rather bemused by it. Kinsey, thank you so much for coming on and giving a stateside perspective on the family over here that I suppose are the sort of classier version of your Kardashians.